Hey everybody, welcome to my suburban oasis. My name is Soleil and I garden in a zone 5B/6A in mid-Michigan, and today we're doing our garden tour and walkabout. It is beautiful outside, the birds are chirping, it is like in the low 60s right now. We had a ton of rain this week, it was really cool, but things are very happy. Things are very green and we're starting to see some more blooms. So let's take a look at what's going on in the garden. Well, first off, over here we have our Clematis, the multi-blue Clematis, which is just smothered in blooms. It has taken off, and you can start to see some of the additional layers of the blooms on this now. Aren't those gorgeous? I'm putting my hand behind it just so you can see the size of these blooms. Beautiful. It's called blue, but definitely would consider this one more of a purple. It definitely has a little bit of blue in the inside of these, but it doesn't have blue very much otherwise. I think it's purple. And we have a Dr. Rupel as well down below. So gorgeous colors over here right now. And over here to our right, we are starting to see lots of blooms on our Salvia. And it's just looking like a beautiful garden bed now. We still have some blooms on the ajuga, although they are starting to fade out. But we have lots of blooms on these. And this is the Azure Snow variety right here, the purple and white one, next to several crystal blue. And the sun is shining on them really beautifully right now, just making them glow in the sunshine. Then we have some more Azure Snow down at this end as well. And those are all laid out as salvia in front of the incredible hydrangeas and our arborvitae topiary. We also have a buckthorn to the right here, in case you're wondering what that is. So this garden bed is looking really good. I definitely have some damage on the leaves of the incredibles from those leaf tire caterpillars, but overall they look nice and healthy. Our geraniums are doing pretty good in these pots. They haven't gotten blasted too much by the rain or the cold. They're still alive and flowering, so that's good. We have our catmint is beginning to bloom down here. I cannot recall what variety of catmint this one is, or nepeta, but it's very good early blooming variety, and it stays nice and small. And you can see that our mugo pine has been somewhat decimated, but what's left is what will be left. So we'll see how that comes out over the next few weeks as it grows out from the damage from those. I think it's the European sawfly larvae that we're eating on that. So they're all gone now, and they'll be back next year, I'm sure. Look how big our spireas are getting. This should be about the full size of what they're going to get. They're supposed to get about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So that's about what they are right now. And they're getting ready to put out their blooms. So it has a beautiful dark red color on it. Now, one of the things that these do is every year they seem to get some aphids, and it's interesting. You can see, at least hopefully you can see, we have a ladybug that comes into the garden and it's eating on some of the aphids. And in about a week or two, the aphids will be completely gone. So just kind of the cycle of life in the garden. Now, one of the nice things about this area right now is that we are starting to see some blooms on the Weigela back here behind the fountain. And I apologize, I don't have the fountain on right now. I need to clean some things out of it. Things have been blowing and all. And down below that we have some, oh gosh, what kind of bulbs are these? These are the gladiator alliums. So those are getting ready to open up. Over here we've gotten lots of new growth on our forsythia. We're going to kind of go in a different order today than we normally do just for fun. Try to spice things up a little bit. Our Diamond Lake hosta is getting really big, and I think that one's probably going to have to be moved at some point because it doesn't really fit in its space very well. I can't remember whether I planted that or the forsythia first. I think I planted the forsythia first. But lots of sweet woodruff blooming down here. It's just at the end of its bloom cycle, and we're getting some rose marble salvias that are blooming. These are gorgeous. They are some of the biggest blooms on salvia that you can get. But just the calyx, even before it blooms and after its bloom, are a beautiful color. And we have some coneflower in this garden bed, and some wee hostas. And we have a rave hydrangea back here that has not put on a lot of growth yet, but I anticipate that this week as it warms up that we will get quite a bit more growth. So as we look down the long border here, things are still looking good. Really, really leafed out. We got lots of growth from this last week. All of the rain has done things quite well. Our boxwood is doing good, the one that we transplanted. I know it looks floppy right now, but that's just all new growth. So that should straighten up and fly right soon. I'll show you this Weigela again from the other side here. As you can see, some of the blooms may be a little bit better with the sun glowing through them. It is just starting to bloom. So we have quite a lot of blooms that will be coming more soon. We're starting to get some blooms on the Sicilian honey alliums. They're a very pretty, unique flower. See how they hang over in a bell shape there. Our 9-bark still isn't flowering, but it's very ready to. On the other hand, just look at this beautiful, colorful palette that we have right here. With all of the Heuchera, we've got the caramel Heuchera, which does very well in our area. We've got those limoncello barberries, along with the opening day snowball bush. Looks great. Then we have our Sundrop Spirea right here, which also is a very limey chartreuse orangey color. I can't even hardly describe it correctly because there's so many colors in it, but it's very striking in the garden, and it will stay nice and small with a low spread. The mums are already really big in all throughout the garden. They look like they could use a chop back. I usually chop them back before the 4th of July, sometime in June, late June, but my goodness, they are growing so quickly this year. This Deutzia is not ready to open quite yet, but it's very close. We have lots of buds all over it. We do have some that are starting to open throughout the garden. And some Dianthus beginning to bloom as well. The chives are beginning to put on a little bit of a show here with their purple spiky balls. And the Fireside 9-bark is starting to glow a bit. Really nice color in that. We see some buds as well on the Checkmark Trilogy, which is also a Weigela back here. This one will bloom 3 different colors, like a red, pink, and white, all at the same time. I gave this barberry a little trim just to keep it in its nice little meatball-like shape. So you can see it looks a little green and red. It will all turn that nice red kind of Concord grape type color as the sun hits the foliage. Just kind of give you a look down to see where we're at right now in the garden. We should be opening the pool this weekend, which will be really nice to have open and have that cover off so you all can see the garden without the pool cover on. One thing I'm going to do really quickly is walk you guys over here because I haven't shown you this. We planted last year in this area over here some, I hope I get this right, it's like an ice sandwort, lemon ice sandwort, and it is doing fantastic. It has been blooming for like 2 weeks and I keep forgetting to show you guys it, but it's just a carpet of beautiful lemon ice sandwort. It's a great ground cover so far. Isn't that gorgeous? So a little bit of yellow and lime and white mixed in there, and it's probably about 4 inches tall, but so pretty. I'm glad we found that and planted it. What a nice addition to the garden. And over here we do have an hibiscus that is starting to put on new growth, so you should be starting to see that happen. Those are such late to come out of dormancy plants that some people are often afraid that they've lost a plant, but they probably haven't. We are getting some of the best flowers on some of the deutzias that I have seen this year, and maybe it needs the cool weather to really be beautiful, but this is the Yuki cherry blossom deutzia. And it's smothered in buds and blooms this year with some alliums growing through it. Anyhow, I just wanted to walk you over there because I thought it deserved a little bit of a show for you guys, because it's definitely a new plant in the garden, one that is kind of rare, I guess. I haven't heard of it before. And we have some geraniums that are starting to bloom here. This is a perennial geranium. Our Arctic gold arborvitaes here are doing good. I've done a little bit of trimming on them, but they haven't grown a ton. I would like to pot those up into a little bit bigger pots. So lots and lots of foliage back here still growing, getting bigger. We have our Benvernoy and autumn frost hostas that look like this. And I did come through this last week and pull some of the large root geraniums out from around these pieris back here, which still are showing some beautiful, beautiful new growth. Isn't that gorgeous? They just look so nice and healthy right now. But anyways, the geraniums are still growing, and this week they're flowering, so they're really pretty back there with their pink flowers on them, I think. And I probably will need to continue to kind of pull those away from the pieris, but I think for now they're looking pretty good. Just keep an eye on them this season for sure. We're starting to get some blooms on this side over here. These are April night salvias. And I think they would bloom sooner if they were in more sun, but they're in part sun over here. So just starting to bloom, but have buds covering them. The bilberry heucheras are looking amazing right now. That's what we have here. Along with some black pearl heucheras. And I think the bilberry hostas literally look better than the black pearl ones. We have some back to the fuchsia salvia here that is starting to bloom. And we're actually getting some nice new growth on our hydrangea here. I'm just going to show you down in there, which is exciting after the fact that we, just moved this. So I think we picked the perfect time to do that, because it's already, rooting in enough and feeling comfortable enough to continue to push out new growth. It didn't stunt it or anything. Sometimes you'll get that where you transplant a plant and it will just stop its growth to ensure that its roots can get rooted in. One of the other things going on in the garden right now is our honeysuckle shrubs are blooming. So those blossoms look really, really pretty right now, and they smell pretty good as well. The new growth continues on the spruce here, the weeping spruce. Just look at this caramel Heuchera right here. This is the mega caramel one with the leaves that are so big. As big as my hand, see that? Gorgeous. I have trimmed most all of the boxwoods back here this last week, and I will tell you that I definitely was dodging mosquitoes as I was doing it, but I think that it looks nice and has really lent a bit of, just a little bit of that control that I was looking for after everything has come back so big. I came through here as well, and I trimmed back all of the lamium. I just did a chop and drop in here. The lamium was so out of control, it was just climbing all over everything. And I think that this garden bed now looks better. I mean, the lamium is still everywhere, but it's not smothering things anymore, so that's great. I will probably need to come through and divide some of these hostas, but I'd like to put some of these gold-edged hostas out front in my hosta bed and line the edge with them, so it will be perfect timing to do that. We're starting to have these Heucheras, which I believe are mint julep hosta or Heucheras. I tried to find the exact name for you. They're pushing out their buds, which will be very nondescript flowers. They will be very insignificant. In fact, they're not even a color. They actually are pretty much the color of the foliage. But nonetheless, they do still attract lots of pollinators. And back here we have a large leaf hydrangea. Hopefully that one will push out some blooms for us this year. We just planted that one last fall. And our little haughty hydrangeas are doing well, pushing out lots of new growth. As well as our, I think this is Dark Side of the Moon astilbe. I expect to start seeing some astilbe buds coming through soon alongside these Brunera here. Let's take a look over here at the Japanese ferns, because these Japanese tassel ferns are starting to look really good again. I am thinking about moving the Cape Lookout hydrangeas from here because I don't think they get enough sun. Indeed, this one is being smothered over here, so it barely has any new growth. I think it's got like one shoot on it, unfortunately. I don't know if I can save that one, but probably this one over here. So I think it needs more sun than it's getting where it's at. So we'll take care of that soon. A few blooms starting to open on our small dogwood tree here. Not a lot this year, but more than last year. And next year there'll be even more, so just something to continue to look forward to in the garden. Always something to look forward to next year. Our Virginia is super healthy and large and shiny, and I do need to come through and cut back the spent blooms on that. Our Jetstream hydrangea over here, this is the oak leaf variety, is getting really big. The leaves are bigger than I've ever seen them. So that's great to see. I think it's just really, really happy in its location. This one probably is the happiest one that I have. The striptease hostas are looking great. And look at all of that green growth that we're seeing on this rhododendron that was really, really hit by the winter. Alongside those beautiful flowers and our massive blue hosta here. I did cut back the lungwort in this garden bed. I do need to cut back some of the spent blooms on the hellebores just to give room to all of the leaves that have pushed up. But I will get to it one thing at a time, you know. The garden is large and I am but one person, and so I do one thing at a time and get there when I can. Again, this rhododendron's doing great. And the Sum and Substance hosta next to it is just taking over. I'm going to cut some of these leaves back on both the hostas on either side just to ensure that this rhododendron has enough room to thrive. And this is where our big blue hosta used to be, so we gave that one away, dug it up, and so now we have curved the rocks to the edge of that gate. And you can see now we just have a couple of Brunnera that we need to dig up from here. And I may move those to the way back garden, hopefully. That's kind of the plan right now. We don't have any blooms open yet on this Clematis, but they're definitely big buds ready to bloom, and I almost think it's going to be white because of how it looks right now, but I'm not sure. I wish I would have retained the tag for this one and kept it by it so I knew what it was, but I did not. And sometimes that just happens. So all right, look at the new growth on the Scarlet Heuchera over here. Very bright red, even more striking I think than the Valley Rose Pieris. So I did get the hellebore flowers trimmed back over here. Some of the Dorothy's Dawn and the Penny's Pink, as well as all of the lungwort that was along the edge of this border. And people are probably going to ask me again why I do that, and that's because we have a tendency to get powdery mildew here in Michigan. So you will see though that there are lots of leaves that are starting to come up. So I just cut back all of the blooms all the way down to the ground, and these leaves now will start to push out and will cover the ground as well. So you'll probably see them leafed out by next week. And we'll just keep an eye on their growth, but they should be great. And they get enough food and happiness from the mulch every year. I did come through and added a layer of mulch. You'll see I did not mulch right here. There's lots of leaf mulch right there, so I didn't feel the need to do that. Got all the daffodil foliage cut back over here, so that's happy. And I got my Buddha statue out, so that's nice. And just looking forward to cutting back these hellebores as well so that the leaves can have their space. But yeah, things are looking good. We have a strawberry Sunday hydrangea back there behind the Buddha, along with some sedums and some dianthus that are probably going to be blooming, in the next week. We do have some dianthus that are blooming in the front garden and looking great. And just take a look at this beautiful geranium blooming next to our Boom Chocolata. The Amber Jubilee 9-bark is just glowing. Isn't it? Beautiful. So yeah, things are looking really beautiful right now. We have lots of blooms going on in the potager garden as well. We have those black barlow columbines. Several of them are blooming right now. And you can see this deep purple iris that is blooming. I believe His Royal Highness is the name of this one. No blooms on Pagan Dance. That's the other one that's in this garden bed. I don't know why it's not blooming this year, but it's not. So it might be planted too deep. I'm not sure. But I may dig it up and replant it just to see what happens if it gets better. Yep. So lots of ideas about what to plant in the lady's head. Now we are now past our last frost date, so I can really consider that. I'm thinking about doing some sedum because I think that that would be nice and drought tolerant, and I wouldn't have to water it like twice a day or anything like that. And I think it would look lovely, so that's one of the things that I'm thinking of doing there. This Deutzia also has lots of buds on it, but no blooms yet. We'll head out into the front garden where we will be able to see some more blooms. So here we go. Now, I still have not gotten to, you guys, it's horrible. I don't know why, but I haven't gotten to this brick garden bed in terms of cleaning it up. And it's already starting to look better just on its own, although I do need to get this Verbena bonariensis stems out of here, and once I do that, I think it will be fine. I also have not done any cleanup in this garden bed, but it's looking amazing, I think, considering all the growth has pushed out, so we don't see any of the dead things anymore. I do need to come through and like trim up the boxwoods that are in here and cut back the foliage from the daffodils, but otherwise things are looking healthy and really good, and we'll probably get some blooms from those Roseanne, or no, those are not the Roseanne geraniums. Those are a blue type. I can't recall the name right now. But you can see the impact that a lot of the large root geraniums have when you have them planted en masse. Lots of beautiful pink blooms. The Spirea is going over. So short-lived, but probably close to 2 weeks worth of bloom time on that one. I'm excited to see how well this one is doing. This is a quick fire. This was done from a cutting several years ago, and I'm thinking this year might be the first year that we get a bloom on it. So watching that one very closely to see how things go. The Lily of the Valley is just lush throughout here. I would never be able to get rid of this Lily of the Valley. I probably won't try again. I probably will just leave it as a ground cover here. It does look good. It is a nice ground cover. And this orange rocket barberry looks amazing up above it. We have some of our last blooms on the Virginia here. And this Weigela is pushing out some blooms. This one I believe is like spilled wine. It hasn't gotten very big because I don't think it gets quite as much sun as it should. Lots of leaves pushing out on our blue shadow Fothergilla. You can see it has that nice blue hue to it. This is our little blue corner with our what are called dwarf white weeping Niagara dwarf weeping white pines, but they look blue. And our ornamental grasses are coming up really well here, along with the lavender and the sedum also. So lots of variety and some different colors on this corner. And this garden bed over here is doing really well. I'm super excited about the blooms that we're starting to see in this garden bed, along with how well the grass is finally starting to fill, and just look at that. Finally getting there, you guys. So this garden bed looks nice. The weeping crabapple is doing good. The hostas are doing good. I need to come through and spray them, I'm sure. I'm starting to see lots of baby walnut trees throughout my garden beds right now where the squirrels planted them, so I'm weeding those out as I go. But look at this. The lavender is already pushing out some buds. We have blooms on this dianthus. This is the Paint the Town Magenta dianthus. And behind it we have barberry with the Sonic Bloom Weigela. And it's called Sonic Bloom because The number of blooms that are on this shrub, you guys, is just intense. I'm going to get you in close so you can see how many buds are on that. There's not even barely open flowers yet, but it looks like it's flowering because there's so many buds on it. It's amazing. I highly recommend that one. So yeah, I think that this combination right here is starting to look good as it fills in. Do you need to come through and trim up those boxwoods as well? I only did the boxwoods that were in the front garden, so. And the sun border over here, looking beautiful. Got lots of blooms. We have the Salvia over here. Look at these. So they look amazing immersed within the verbena, the viburnum and the purple sensation, don't they? I think that is just a gorgeous combination right now. So many colors. Beautiful. And the purple sensations are holding on, so we're getting some color from them for quite some time this year because of the cool weather, I believe. Otherwise, we usually just have about a week of them, so now it's been probably a good, week and a half. Something like that. Hello, bunny. There goes the bunny taking my path. That garden path's for the gardener, not for the bunny. But oh well. We have some Allium carativiense that are still blooming down here. Aren't those pretty with that glaucous blue foliage? I love those. We have some more salvia blooming over here. I believe this is May night salvia. And the dianthus that is beginning to bloom along the edge here. And our concertina irises are still doing well. Got lots of blooms here. They are such a gorgeous color. Just that peachy pink. They really do look great up against the background of that orange rocket barberry. I'm trying to not go too fast, you guys, but there are mosquitoes out again today. I don't want to treat for them or anything because it just does all sorts of things to every bug, which is not good. But you can see I got the daffodil foliage cleaned up for the most part out of this garden bed. And the deutzias are really beginning to flower out here. Take a look at this. Isn't that pretty? Such a dainty flower. Beautiful light pink color on the outside and white on the inside. All the blue veronica that we have planted over here is budded up. So we'll be seeing those blooms really soon as well. And everybody thinks that those are really amazing, so don't worry if they bloom at a time when I'm not doing a garden tour. I will definitely post a short for you guys just to make sure that you see them. All right, heading over towards the mailbox just because I want to show you some of the buds that are happening over here. We have an iris in the ditch that is called Purplicious that is getting ready to bloom. The cone flowers are getting really, really big in this bed. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit, 5 feet this year. And we have lots of buds on our clematis. This one is the Niobe one. It's like a dark, deep red-ish brown color. So should be beautiful. And then in our long border here, we have the chives going. And again, I need to do some trimming on the boxwoods, I know that. And I want to get to them probably in the next couple of weeks. Before the end of June for sure. Again, we had really, really cold weather this week, so no blooms yet on the black lace elderberry, but I know it will be coming. Look at this Spirea. Look at it, it's just glowing. This is another spot on Spirea. Sorry, I was waving a mosquito away. And the colors on these are just great. I highly recommend those as well. You know, they might not be a flower. They do have flowers on them for a short period of time. But as a shrub, I think they're just glorious in terms of what they bring to the garden for such a small shrub. More dianthus. And here's our Sonic Bloom Weigela over here. This one is the red variety, not the pink variety. But when it opens, I happen to think that it looks pink. So we're going with it. The peony buds, they're looking like they're about to open on these plants back behind the Spirea. And the Spirea has some buds on it that are looking like they're going to be blooming soon too. And we have some of the dianthus that are blooming at the bottom. Again, those are the Telstar purple variety that I have kind of scattered throughout the garden, just for some cohesiveness. These are cone flowers again, more cone flowers that are coming up and really filling in the gaps. And we'll see those really add value to the garden later in the year when things get hot. We have the salvias now starting to bloom here, May night salvias. Lots and lots of buds on these salvias, guys. These are starting to open. These are the Caradonna salvias, I believe. You can see these are a really dark color and the stems are dark, almost black. But this long border is looking really, really beautiful. We've got some nice color going on in it. And pretty soon these tiny wine ninebarks will be blooming as well. You can see the buds on those. Well, let me just show you our little Henry sweet spires here, along with our pink puff dianthus. So dianthus is a really nice kind of transition plant. It blooms at a time when not a lot of other things are blooming, between kind of those spring blooms and those summer blooms. And I don't know if you can see, but we have some spires of sweetness on these little Henrys that are starting to come about, which means that we are going to get some blooms on it this year, which is thrilling because we just planted these last year. You see the little spikes on this? This one has a lot of little spikes that are easier to see, I think. And the color is really, really nice, and I think it contrasts really great with the foliage that is around it, because it's just a regular green and spiky, and it's a really nice contrast in both texture as well as color. This garden bed is full, and I haven't trimmed the snowball bush yet, but the snowball bush is definitely in full effect in terms of, I think, how showy it will get. They are a little droopy. The branches are still getting thicker and thicker each year, and that's what we're aiming for, so that they hold up the blooms nice and strong. But I think those are just gorgeous. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tour. I had a great time taking you out and about, and I'm looking forward to much better weather this week. I hope things are nice in your area, and that you're looking forward to some weather that we can garden in even more. So we'll see you next time. Bye!